Welcome to the OP12 Black Yellow Koala deck breakdown, where we're going to be going over the leader card, the deck list itself. We're going to take a look at starting hands, what cards you could potentially try in the deck, and we're going to look at the curve of the deck, and we're going to cap things off with some matchup stats and some gameplay too, to boot, to see the deck in action. So if that is something you're excited about, stay tuned. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Card D Kaizoku.
This video is brought to you by Nengarden. To celebrate their 1-year anniversary, they're thanking fans with a huge sale. Nearly everything is $30 or less. Plus, you can use code Kaizoku at checkout for an extra 5% off your order. This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code Kaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. See Western OP11 list and Eastern OP12 list on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. So Black Yellow Koala is a new revolutionary army type leader that is not Sabo for once. So let's just take a look at what her leader ability does. So when this leader attacks your opponent's leader, if you have 2 or more characters with the cost of 8 or more, you draw 1 card. Then once per turn, when your opponent plays a character with an original cost of 8 or more, or when your opponent plays a character through an effect of another character, you may activate this effect. Your opponent takes the top card of their life and then they add it to their hand. So what does that mean? If they play any big drop, anything that costs 8 or more, they just outright lose a life. It goes through the hand though, so they get to use it for counter and stuff. But the other part, the part where if it plays a character via the effect of another character, that's stuff like Luffy Taro, that's stuff like Jinbei, which is now banned. The 9 cost Sanji in Blue Purple Luffy is a character that plays another character out. So in those instances, they would have to take one of the life cards to their hand. And then the first part of Koala's ability, there is a caveat where you have to attack your opponent's leader. I think that is kind of what is holding her back from being like a really good leader. The fact that you only card draw when you're attacking your opponent, right? If you attack a character, which is kind of what you want to do in the game to control the board, you're kind of disincentivized from doing that. So I kind of don't like that about the leader, but it's still great when you don't have to kill anything on board. Attacking your opponent's leader, just drawing you a card. There's no like hand limit restriction. The only restriction being that you need 2 8 cost or more characters on board, which might seem a little crazy, but once you see the cards in the deck, it'll make sense, right? A lot of your characters can be treated as 8 costs even though they're not. So yeah, with that, let's take a look at the deck list. For OP12 Koala, it's a 1-drop searcher. It's a top 3 searcher for Rev Army type only, but like the other top 3 searchers, the remaining cards that you don't pick up go to your trash. You can also pick up Nico Robin specifically with this Koala. A little bit of a I don't know, is it a manga spoiler, anime spoiler? Oh, and you can't pick up another Koala too. That isn't too relevant in this particular deck, but it can be in like a Sabo Rev Army deck potentially, like a red-black one. For OP11 Zeus, 2 cost 2k power 2k counter. Zeus is one of the best yellow 2k counters, even though it's not really synergistic with any of the other Rev Army type cards in our deck. We have to run it just because it can pop a 5-drop on play if you trash a card from the top or bottom of your life cards. And yeah, just being able to handle like your opponent's Cavendish or like Smoker, or there's a bunch of actually really strong 5 costs in the game. Zeus making you take a life, yeah, it's a pretty steep cost, but we have ways to heal. So yeah, Zeus is just a great way to get rid of one of your opponent's like really high priority targets just for 2 Dawn. 2 OP12 Bello Beatty, 3 cost 4k power 2k counter. I'm not going to go over the effect because we don't really use the cost reduction in this deck. This is really just a target for our 4 cost Rebecca to bring back from the trash to counter for 2k, right? It's purely just a 2k counter in this deck, and it's a 3-drop black card. That's why it's relevant. For the next card, for OP05 Rebecca, 4 cost 0k power 1k counter. So she's a blocker, and then on play you can add 1 black character with a cost of 3 to 7 other than a Rebecca from your trash to your hand. Then you can play up to 1 black character card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand rested. So yeah, the Bello Beatty we just saw is a valid target to bring back from your trash. It's just when you want a blocker plus a 2k counter on top of that. And then if you happen to have a 1-drop Koala in your hand, you can play it out with the Rebecca's second effect, right? The part where it plays out a black character with a cost of 3 or less. Play out the Searcher Koala, you can get potentially another 2k counter on top of that. And this is something you can cheat out with your Monkey D Dragon too. Dragon's target that he cheats out is not type locked. So yeah, just a great defensive play in case you need it. I kind of feel like I don't really use it too often. It's like kind of like my desperation defense, but there's so much other defense in the deck that it's not often where I run out of those resources to the point where I have to use Rebecca, but it's nice to have just as a backup. And we're better going second, so Rebecca being 4 Dawn fits into a lot of our even curves too. 2 OP09 Bartholomew Kuma, 4 cost 5k power, 2k counter. So yeah, just a 2k counter, but on trigger, if your leader has a Rev Army type, and you and your opponent in total have 5 or less life cards in total, you can play them out for free. I'm sharing this 2k counter spot with the Bello Betty just to get use of the Rebecca. If you're not running Rebecca, you can just cut out the Bello Betties and run 4 Kumas. 4 OP12 Hack, 4 cost 5k power, 1k counter. So if your leader has a Rev Army type, this character gains blocker and plus 4 costs. So this is one of the cards we're talking about. He's a 4-drop that counts as an 8-drop on board for our leader ability, for the card draw purposes. Then on KO, if your leader has a Rev Army type, KO to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 4 or less. So this is a great equalizer. It's a 4-drop that kills a 4-drop on death. It makes your opponent disincentivized from attacking into it, so it's like a free 5k ping every turn. If they do attack into it, you take down one of your opponent's potentially key characters along with it. And it's still a blocker at the end of the day too, which is like a great thing to have. One of the many blockers in our deck. 4 OP12 Morley, 4 cost 5k power, 2k counter. If your leader includes Rev Army in its type, this character gains plus 4 costs. So this is just a 2k counter that can count as an 8-drop on board. This is like our last resort 4-drop to play when we really need an 8-drop out to draw, or just even to have a 4-down play. And it's recyclable by the Rebecca, but you can't play it out with the Rebecca, but still 2k counter to hand. But yeah, Morley is the guy you play when you miss your hack on your 4-down turn, because you'll play Morley and then another 8 cost on board the next turn, and that's when you can draw with your leader ability. 4 OP12 Karasu, 5 cost 6k power, 1k counter. If your leader has a Rev Army type, this character gains plus 3 costs. Okay, another 5-drop that counts as an 8. And then when attacking, if your leader has a Rev Army type and your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they trash 1 card from their hand. So Karasu, I only really play him when I'm going like first, right? It's something you can play on your 5-dawn turn. You can play it on your 6-dawn turn if you miss your Robins and your Kumas. But yeah, it's like another last resort kind of thing, just a fallback, just so that you get that card value on your 6 or 5-dawn turn when you're attacking to draw with your leader ability. But yeah, other than that, it's not often I play this guy out. It's like one of the least desirable targets for the dragon. I figure if they print any more support for Koala, this might be one of the first cards I cut. 2 starter deck 14 Sanji, 5 cost 6k power. On play, if you have a character with a cost of 6 or more, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So this is my spicy tech. I like running this Sanji. Whether it's like same with the Zeus, if you need to kill one of your opponent's priority 5-drops, like on your 4-down turn, you'll play like a Morley or Hack the turn prior. They count as 8 costs, so it activates the Sanji. Next turn, you can pop something. Sanji himself does not count as an 8-drop on board, so your leader ability doesn't let you draw a card, but sometimes it's worth it to kill something instead of drawing a card. So I like having that as an option. If you ever get the Sanji in your trash via like the Koalas, and there's like an event searcher later on, and even Kuma, we have to discard a card to pay for Kuma, and Robin too, you'll get Sanji in your discard pretty easily. You can play it back out with the dragon, so you'll have a 8-drop 8k out and still pop a 5-drop along with it. So it's just a spicy tech option for me. I only run it as a 2 of, just because he has no counter 2 and he's not searchable by anything in our deck. 4 OP12 Nico Robin, 6 cost 7k power. So if your leader is Koala or Monkey D Luffy, this character gains blocker and plus 3 costs, so it's a 9 cost on board. And then on play, if you trash a card from your hand, if your opponent has 5 or more cards from their hand, they trash 2 cards from their hand. This is one of the most like harsh discard effects, right? Most of the other effects are like, if they're at a threshold of 6 or more, they discard like 1 card or something. Robin makes you discard 2 when they're at 5. That brings them down to 3 cards in hand. That's how devastating this is. It's going to be really hard for your opponent to counter their hand size small enough to get around this Robin. So they'll more often than not lose those 2 cards. You'll develop a 7k blocker who counts as a 9-drop on board, hard to remove. And then yeah, it helps you with your leader ability too. So one of the best things to do is to play like a Hack into a Robin the turn after, attack with your leader, draw a card. A lot of value here. And one of the primo targets to cheat out with the dragon. 4 OP12 Bartholomew Kuma, 6 cost 7k power, 1k counter. On play, you can trash a card from your hand. You add the top card of your deck to your life, and then this character gets plus 2 costs until the end of your opponent's next turn. This is only on the turn that you play him though, so do keep that in mind. He doesn't stay in 8-drop like the other characters in our deck. Then on your opponent's turn, if Kuma dies via KO, you can heal 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. So whether you're playing him out or he dies, you heal at least 2 life if he dies that way. And yeah, also another great option on 6, if your opponent did happen to like counter the way to make their hand lower than 5 and you don't want to play your Robin just yet, play Kuma. You can even discard your Robin to play the dragon next turn to replay the Robin. And yeah, it just prolongs the game, gives you life. You're a 4-life leader, so making you healthier is how you're going to win this war of attrition with a lot of decks. Also a target that you can shoot out with the dragon, which we're going to go over right now. 4 OP12 Monkey D Dragon, 8 cost 8k power. On play, you can place 3 Rev Army type cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you do this, and if your leader is a Rev Army type, you can play up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less from your trash. So yeah, kind of like Gecko Moria Light, type restricted finally, and then not super efficiently statted, but can play a 6-drop active. So best targets, as we saw, is Kuma if you need a heal, Robin if you need a block and make your opponent discard 2 cards. If you want to pop a 5-drop, you have Sanji. So you have many options here, right? You have defense, heal, KO, emergency situation. If you have nothing else good in your trash, you can always play a hack out as a blocker, or Rebecca. Rebecca, bring back a 2k, play out a koala from your hand. You might end up getting a 4-cost blocker out and 4k counter in hand while developing an 8-drop 8k power character here. So yeah, Dragon's great for that. A lot of your like power turns swing around getting this guy out, and then on the turns after defending, because to get to this point, since a lot of our previous characters are kind of low impact, right? Like Hack, Karasu, Morley, these guys are just like stat sticks on board. We do kind of end up taking a lot of life, more than we would like. So yeah, just being able to develop this much value out, potentially recover and stabilize with a heal or a block, and then from the turns after, play like your 4k counter events. And then one neat thing about Dragon is that if you do play out either Kuma or Robin, Dragon himself is an 8-drop. Both of these will count as 8-drops on board, so you can leader ability right off the rip if you happen to like miss every hit up until now, or if your opponent like removed your characters up until now. Dragon's like a one-stop shop for your leader ability activation there. It's kind of how I play the deck. For OP12 Captains Assemble, it's a 1-drop searcher event that looks at the top 3 for a Rev Army type card other than another Captains Assemble. Then you trash the rest. This is great at filling your discard to pay for the Dragon, because you'd have to return 3 Rev Army type cards. Now on trigger, you get the main effect too, so yeah, great. It's a no-brainer to add this. For OP12 Waxing Fist, 1-cost counter event. So up to one of your leaders or characters gets plus 2k power during this battle. Then if you have a Rev Army type character with a cost of 8 or more, that card gains an additional 2k power. Since most of the Rev Army type cards in our deck are considered 8 costs on board, this Waxing Fist will give you 4k counter for 1 Dawn. It's really strong. Then on trigger, you draw a card and trash a card from the top of your deck. That's alright, but yeah, 4k counter for 1 Dawn. Again, as I mentioned, you're just developing good stat sticks on board and then stabilizing with the Dragon, and then on the turns after that, you're able to leave Dawn up to counter for 4k. Right, at this point, they're probably not going to attack into your 7k bodies or 8k bodies, so you have to protect your face. That's your most vulnerable asset to protect after that. On your 10 Dawn turn, you can even fit a Dragon and still have 2 Dawn up for Waxing Fist, and then like card draw with your leader. So that's why I run it as a 4 of. It's like kind of imperative to survive after you've developed your board. So the price of the deck with currently available cards, this is cards that are not in OP12 because I'm recording this early August, is only $23. It is gonna go up in price because this Kuma is probably gonna be a pretty penny. It's a secret rare, it's generic, it's usable in a lot of yellow decks. It's especially synergistic in this deck, so you kind of do need 4 of it. And then Robin is an SR, and then Dragon is an SR as well. So these are your 3 most rarest cards. Everything else is like a common or uncommon, so shouldn't be too hard to get. But yeah, if you wanted to prepare for this deck once OP12 releases, currently existing cards from OP11 and prior is only $23 total. Very cheap if you view this deck via my deck builder, which I'll have a link to this specific deck list in the description below. And you click the show prices button up here, there's like a bunch of shopping cart links that'll take you to the cheapest version of each card. Or if you're lazy, there's a master entry button that just copies the entire deck list of available cards, which that means once OP12 is released and those cards are in my database, the entire deck will be available, but for now, just only the currently available cards. It'll copy to your clipboard, and then once you get to TCG Player's master entry form, you Control-V, add the entire deck to your cart, make it really easy to buy this outright, saving you a lot of clicks. So yeah, just for your convenience if you want to do that. All of these methods go through my affiliate link too, so if you guys were going to buy these cards anyway and you wanted to support me in a passive way, this would be a great way to do it and I would appreciate it. And we'll move on to the starting hands. So for the starting hands, you kind of want Koala or the Captain's Assemble event just to fill your trash and find whatever you're missing. If you have a 4-drop play, that's great. You can start searching for like your Kumas, your Robins, or your Dragons. But if you don't, you kind of want to find Hack as best as you can, with Morley being like second best thing if you can get it. And then once it hits your 6th on turn, you can play Karasu or like another Hack, and then you can attack with your leader to draw a card. And then it would be a great relief having the Dragons guaranteed, because if you miss Dragon on 8, it does kind of hurt. It does throw off your tempo quite a bit because you're getting 2 characters with the Dragon. So if you have everything else covered, just using your Koala or your event searchers to find a Dragon is going to help you, at least. And then we'll move on to the card options. So for card options, you have quite a few options here, right? So for the 2k counter slot, if you don't want to run Zeus or Rev Army, you could run Bedge. Bedge is a great yellow 2k counter. Again, we're a 4-life leader, we're really fragile. As we mentioned, we have to like stabilize on our turn after we play the Dragon. Just getting a lucky Bedge can help you like get like a extra life card to survive until that point. Because what he does on trigger is make your opponent's leader or one of their characters unable to attack, just outright. And then you could consider the Ivankov from OP12 as well. It's a 3-cost blocker. So on play, if you're a Rev Army type leader, you trash 3 cards on the top of your deck. Other than that, it's just a chump blocker. I think it's kind of expensive for a chump blocker that all it does is make you trash 3 cards. Between the Koala Searcher and the Event Searcher, I feel like that's enough discard for me. This card is only really great going odds if you happen to going first, but I don't know. Personally, I'd rather just swing like 5 with the Searcher Koala and 5 with my leader, or even like 8 with my leader instead of playing this blocker out. You could consider Lindbergh too. It's another 4-cost 5k character that counts as an 8-drop on board. Then on play, you cycle a card from your hand. Like one of the least impactful 4-drops to play in the deck, so I kind of don't prefer it. But if you want to go for more like value from your leader ability, having it more guaranteed. If like Hack and Morley is not enough for your 4-drop slot, yeah, you could run the Lindbergh too. You could also consider OP04 Sabo, the 5-cost 6k one that's a blocker, because you can play it out with your dragon actually, and on play it makes your whole board immune to KO. KO isn't too much of a problem at the moment, so I wouldn't run this card. But if your local meta is filled with a bunch of Luchis or Shanks or Marcos that like to KO a lot, yeah, Sabo would make great sense to tech into your deck when it's warranted like that. And he also cycles 2 cards, right? You draw 2, discard 2, that helps fill your discard to potentially get more dragon targets or even like pay for the dragon's cost. You could consider OP12 Sabo as well, 5-cost 6k 1k counter. So if you have 3 or less life cards, this character gains a blocker and plus 3 costs, so it counts as an 8-drop on board. On play, you can add the top part of your life cards to your hand, and if you do this, you can draw 2 cards and charge a card from your hand. So it's just a blocker. I feel like between the Rebecca and then the Hack and then the Robin, I don't need this as a blocker. This would be like the worst blocker among those choices. And in my 5 Dawn slot, like I don't really need that. I guess you could replace Karasu with it if you really want to, right? Since Karasu is like the least consequential card to have. So yeah, Sabo would be an option over Karasu, I guess. But Karasu being able to make your opponent trash a card is pretty nice. But if you want more defense, yeah, Sabo would be your pick. And then OP08 Katakuri could be an option. It's an 8-cost 8k, and then on play, you add one of your opponent's characters or one of your own characters with a cost of 8 or less to the top or bottom of its owner's life area. So a good way to either like remove one of your opponent's threats or even heal yourself. We do run some cards with trigger, like the Kuma, the 2k counter Kuma. We can put it back in our life and it'll trigger back out. But yeah, this is just a card that's great at getting rid of your opponent's 8-cost purple Katakuri and stuff like that, or even like Sanjay and Pudding. And then if you want removal, you could run the OP07 Sabo. It's an 8-drop 9k, and then on play, if you trash a card from your hand, you can KO to one of your opponent's 5 costs or less, and then another 3 costs or less character. So if they're like a go white kind of deck, this would be good into them. But again, we're not running cost reduction, so 5 is usually going to be the biggest we can hit. Unless you really want to play that 2k counter Bella Betty out and make it minus 2 cost more, which would hit a 7-drop. But between the 2 Sanjis we run and then the Zeuses, I feel like that's enough to hit 5 drops if we need it. There's also Stussy. So it's an OP07 card, 9-cost 9k power. On play, if you trash a card from your field, one of your characters, you can kill one of your opponent's characters outright. So you just kill one of your early like Koala Searchers you played. You can kill one of your opponent's characters, any cost. It's a great 1-for-1 tool. Out of all the removal options, I would consider Stussy to be the most flexible, probably the best fit for the deck if you wanted to run it. It's not searchable though, but yeah, it's just something to like kill one of your opponent's 9-cost Linlins or something like that. You could also consider OP12 Ursus Shock. It's a 4-cost event. It's a KO event. So normally it just KOs a 4-drop. So 4 Dawn for a 4-drop kill, I guess, is worth it. But if you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, you can KO one of your opponent's 6 drops or less. So again, 6 is the max unless you want to use the Bella Betty, which makes it an 8. If this were a more KO focused deck, which I think I might be able to brew something like that in a future video, like a blue-yellow KO Koala deck, Ursus Shock might be more relevant. But yeah, as we mentioned, after we play the dragon, we're just defending ourselves. If you happen to have extra Dawn, you could just KO one of your opponent's characters. It's just that 6k, it's just that 6 cost isn't too relevant at the moment, right? We need something like Red Rock in black and yellow, but we don't have that, and Kingdom Come is banned. But yeah, this is just an option if you want more KO in your deck. And on trigger, you draw a card and trash the top card of your deck as well. So we'll move on to the curve. Alright, Carrot's curve, she wants to go second, that's her best curve, so we'll show that. So on our 2-Dawn turn, you can play the Searcher Koala, find the missing pieces you need, probably a Hack if you don't have it already. You can even fit the Event Searcher at this point too, maybe find a Robin for the turn after that. So it passes to our 4-Dawn turn. Here you can play a Hack, and then at this point you can just swing with your leader. Hack on board is an 8 cost, so most likely will not die unless your opponent can KO via power. It passes to your 6th Dawn turn, I keep adding a life. 6th Dawn turn. Here's where you can play the Robin. So the fact that we need to have the characters out on board before our leader ability activates means that we do have to play it out first. But since they're cost buffed on board, usually you won't get hit by a trigger that'll kill them. So you trash a card, your opponent at this point most likely has to trash 2 cards from their hand because they're at 5 or more. So now you have this 9k on board. So now you have this 9 cost on board and you have this 8 cost on board. Now you swing with your Koala that helps you draw a card at this point. Then it goes to our 8 Dawn turn. Here's where you can play like a dragon, dig through your trash to find something nice, maybe like a Kuma. You heal one, and then you still have hack to attack. You can even attack with the Robin and then leader for 5 and draw a card. That's pretty much it. And then as we mentioned on the turns after this, when we're at 10 Dawn, that's when you're going to use like your Waxing Fist to protect your characters on board or play more Kumas to heal. You can even fit like Kuma and then leave 2 Dawn up for 2 Waxing Fists or something like that to be like super protected. And you're just getting value with these characters you develop that are hard to remove. If they do happen to kill hack, you just take one of their 4 drops down with them. And then yeah, the 7Ks are hard to kill, so you just swing with these every turn, protecting them, drawing cards with your leader. That's pretty much the deck. At least that's how I play it. So we'll move on to the matchups. So here are Koala's stats for the last week on the Eastern format. Normally I look at private games for this section just because private games indicate a majority of them are ranked games, but I realize that not too many people are playing ranked on the East anyway, so it's probably better just to look at all Eastern games. Right, it went from 2,000 game sample set to 16,000 in the last week. So Koala's stats are as follows. So going first, she has a win rate of 41.39%. Going second, win rate of 53. So you do want to go second. It's a significant advantage going second just because of how her deck works. Giving her a raw win rate of 49.12, weighted to 47. She has a 3.07% play rate. Could just be that people want to try the new leaders out before the set releases. So might be a little inflated, but yeah, not an unpopular leader by any regards. And here are how her matchups are broken down below. So good into Buggy. Pretty much his entire deck is all about playing characters via a character's effect. So every time he does that, he has to take a life. Enel, likewise, depends on playing really big characters in the late game. So you kind of counter his deck, right? Because his leader ability only works on your turn when you're attacking into him. So when he does play a big character and then he has to trash a life, he actually doesn't heal via his leader ability, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of his deck. So you're like a super hard counter to Enel. And that's going to ring true for Blue Purple Luffy too, just because that's his strategy, right? It's both playing big characters and characters via another character's effect. Now, despite that, the fact that Blue Purple Luffy still beats you going first means that his deck is like way too strong, way too powerful. But yeah, if you happen to go second, you do have a above average win rate against him. And then the decks that you kind of lose against, Zoro absolutely demolishes you. There's no getting around that. There's no counterplay to playing against Zoro. A lot of his card effects check based on base costs to rest something. So even if you give +4 cost to your characters, he can interact with them. And then red, green Smoker, green, purple Luffy, blue, green Bonnie too. It just seems like you have a weakness to green in general. And then purple, black Luffy beats you. He does throw a lot of 7Ks, which kind of makes it hard to defend yourself as a 5K leader. And then a lot of your like relevant blockers are 7K too, so you just get around your Robins. And then everything else in the middle is kind of like polarizing. If you get your strong curve, you win, but if you get your weak curve, it's kind of doomed for you. So pretty much a feast or famine deck until they print more like odd curve cards for Koala to make her a little bit more consistent. So that's the Koala deck breakdown for OP12, at least my first pass at it. But yeah, this deck it's not top meta for sure. There's no getting around that, no deluding yourself. It's purely an off meta deck at the moment, kind of roguish, right? It probably like top 20-ish deck. It's not a completely weak deck, but it completely dies to Zoro. There's no getting around that. And Zoro being like one of the most played decks in the meta, if you just happen to get that matchup, like you're kind of doomed, which is kind of unfortunate for us. But Koala has the workings of potentially being a good deck. She just needs better support. The good thing is she might like collaterally get support whenever they print new red-black Sabo support. The black cards in this deck might help Koala, or they should just print dedicated support for Koala. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time until she becomes relevant. I think decks that play 8 drops or higher or characters via another character's effect, those aren't going to go away. She just needs like a core good deck in the first place on its own to make it worth it running this leader effect. It is pretty generic, right? It's always going to be relevant. She just needs like the actual support package in her deck to be a decent deck regardless of the leader ability in the first place, which is what she's missing at the moment. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the deck. Let me know if you guys have any spicy tech that I missed too. Would love to know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy some of the gameplay coming up right now. Alright, we have a Koala versus Blue Purple Luffy. This is our claim to fame. We're an off-meta rogue deck that is good against the top deck of the format. So we'll play Event Search to find... what are we missing? I'll take a Koala and we'll pass. Actually, I should have played the Koala out. I forgot. Koala's a 1-drop. Already making a slight misplay. I don't think it's going to matter though. We'll get this Event Search trigger to find probably the Kuma. Kuma to heal, right? Since we're already taking 1 life here, we already have 1 Waxing Fist in our hand too. We happen to draw another one, which is good. So we'll just play the Koala here, and then I don't want to not pressure life, so I will swing 8. If I played the 4-drop Morley or Rebecca, that means I can't attack with my leader. So that does slow down my card draw from my leader effect just a little bit. By 1 turn, but I think it's better just to keep pressuring like this. Right, because he's going to play 9 Moms. I don't want him to recover. So it does play a Mr. 2. Swing 6, I will counter 2. He's going to play a Zorojiro if I remember correctly. Yep, he does. So here's where I just play Robin, make him go down to 3 cards in hand. We want to get him to as small a hand size as we can, just because once he's at his 8 Dawn turn, he's going to draw 2 cards a turn. So we want to create that window of vulnerability where he cannot counter out of some of these hits before he can like get infinite defenses to counter out of everything. And yeah, just Robin being a 7k blocker at this point is going to be really relevant. I can protect my life a little bit. Okay, so they do play a Nami here, which lets them draw 3 and put 2 cards back. So if all goes to plan, I'm just going to play a Dragon next turn and draw a card. If he swings with the Mr. 2, I'll swing Koala at it. Okay, swings 8 at me. We'll take that, and then if the Mr. 2 swings like 8k, yeah, I'll just counter block 2. Block counter 2. I don't know how I said that in the opposite order. Okay, so he passes, we'll kill Mr. 2 with Koala, the Searcher, just because our leader needs to hit his face to draw a card. In which case, maybe I don't play the Dragon, right? Just so I have Dawn to attach to my leader. So I'll swing 7 with the Robin. If he takes this, I play the other Robin, making him discard 2 cards again. Right? At this point, he probably doesn't want a Gungam Giant if he has it, because he'll never reach 8. So we'll play the Robin here, make him discard 2 more cards. And that sets us up to play the Dragon into my Kuma next turn. So that's why I discarded the Kuma. Put 1 down on leader, swing 6 and draw a card, and then we have Waxing Fist to protect the Robin if we need it. And he counters 2. Right, we're burning 2Ks with a 6k attack. This is exactly where we want to be against this guy. Does get a Sanji, so if he does play it out, he's going to have to take a life. But if he finds a 9 Mom, he heals it back. So he's still going to stay at 1, which is a lot better than being at 2. If he's at 2 at this point, I think it's impossible to like rush him down. So he does Sanji the Mom. He cannot target our Robins, but he can life our Koala if he wants. I don't think he wants to though. Yeah, he just heals. So still has the Zoro and the leader swing, and even Nami if he needs to. So 7 with leader, no Dawn up for events. We'll just block and counter 1 here. And Zoro kills our Koala. He does have a Dawn up for defense. So now it's the best time to Dragon, because I can still Waxing Fist after and still attack with my leader for 6 and draw a card. Sanji might be relevant. I can pop the Nami later on if I need to, but not this turn. We're going to play Dragon out and just heal into Kuma. In fact, yeah, let's discard the Searcher event, and then we should swing 7th at this point. He can't kill us, and we want to pressure him before he starts drawing more cards. This is the only time he's going to be at 2 cards in hand. And from this point on, it's going to keep going up. He does block with the Nami. Okay, another 7. It's just an easy 2k here if he has it. Yep. We're down to 1 card. Going up to 3. Most other decks at this point against this guy, the Blue Purple Luffy has like 6-7 cards in hand at this point. So that's where he kind of runs away with the game. He does pick up a Gungam Giant, so that's going to buy him some time. So if he threatens our Robins, we can defend that a lot easier. If he threatens our face, we're not going to die. So 11 at Robin, we'll let 1 die. And then if he throws another 11, I protect the other Robin. I have enough counter, probably. So 11, we'll Waxing Fist and counter 1. Actually, no, if he throws like a 9, I can't. But that would mean that he can only play like a 3-drop or leave 3 down up for counter events, which is fine by me. Or if he plays like a Nami blocker at this point, I can pop it with the Sanji. He does throw 9, that killed my Robin. 3 down up for events. He can swing 5 with the Zoro, but maybe he needs all 3 Dawn. Because he has no Dawn to ramp with the Zoro. Okay, he does throw 5. I will take it. Maybe see if I get some options. I don't though. Okay, so we're pretty safe to try to go for game if we want. If not, we just play Rebecca and then bring a bunch of counter back to our hand. So we'll throw 8 with the dragon, see what happens. Most likely, we know he has a Gungam Giant, so he's probably going to burn that right now. Yep, there's the GGG. Discards a pudding, so the other card must be a 2k. So we'll throw 8 with the Kuma, maybe burn his second Gungam Giant or his Gear second if he has it. He took it, so maybe we have game. He does concede, he didn't have anything. Okay, Koala versus Red Green Smoker. So this should be a bad matchup for us, but we'll see if we can finesse. So we're going first 2, which is our off curve, but we'll Captain's Assemble into 2k. And he passes with no Searcher, which is good for us. We will just swing 8 here. Takes the 8. We will pass. I thought they were gonna like 10-layer Igloo or something. So it does finally play a Sanji. They can put Dawn on him and then untap 2 Dawn to swing 7 at me, which is what they do. So I'm gonna have to take this. Oh, 5. Okay. We will counter with the Bellow Betty, and then they left 2 Dawn up. I wonder what for. So just swing 5 out leader. We just play a Karasu out at this point. Or even Hack. Hack might be better. But he has a big hand, so maybe Karasu. He does counter 2. So we'll play Karasu and pass. So I don't know what that 2 Dawn was for. Maybe he was expecting me to swing like 10 and he could Igloo that. But I don't know, he had life to spare. I would have attacked 7, so he does 6 at me, we'll counter 2. 5 at me again, we'll take 1 finally. 2 Kumas. So Smoker's probably coming out, yep. And then he's gonna have 3 Dawn. So 4 total. Probably Koshido blockers and stuff like that. Rosinante. Rosinante, okay. Double Rosie. I can pop the Smoker because Smoker is not rested. That's why kind of Koshido is the preferred 2-cost blocker to protect Smoker. So we'll kill Smoker with the Sanji because my Karasu counts as an 8-drop. Now I can't use my leader ability to draw. But what I want to do is get him to take a life so that my Karasu... Or if I kill this Sanji, he'll draw a card and then Karasu makes him discard a card in hand when he attacks. He does block with the Rosie. So I will throw 6 at the Sanji then. I don't think I can get him to discard. Oh, that's a die? Okay, I think we're safe to Zeus this Rosinante, so we'll just kill it. So he can't protect the next thing he plays out. It does play a Hody, which is what I was kind of worried about. A Hody hidden behind a Rosinante would have been really bad for me. So he can swing like 7-9. I can stop the 7. He goes 8-8, I can stop that too. Monet, okay. He can still do 8-8. But Monet kind of incentivizes him to kill a character because it's going to give -1 cost, 1k power to a character. To my Karasu. So maybe 7 at him and 8 at my face, or 8 at Sanji. The thing is, I don't want to throw my leader attack at Monet though, because I don't get to draw a card. So let him kill Karasu. If he does 8 at Sanji, I might just defend it. Yeah, we will. Then we'll keep a Koala in case we need to find an 8-drop dragon, but I top deck it, so I don't need to worry about it. So we'll throw 6 at Monet, because she is a 4k on opponent's turn. I have a Dawn to spare, might as well make a 7, and then we'll play the dragon out. Dragon, so I have 2 8-drops on board. I will play out... Robin would be good. Yeah, because he has 5 cards in hand. So Robin. And then we'll discard a Kuma, and then if we find another dragon with the Koala, we could just play the Kuma out that way. I hope. So 2 cards, bye-bye. Big value, big value. Then we'll throw 5 out leader and get a 2k. Perfect. He takes that too. Perfect. So yeah, if he had swung at me 7 on that first turn, here's where it might have been dicey for me. Being at 1 life with 1 blocker, but being at 2 life here, I'm really well situated. He does run Baby 5, so he runs a lot of Don Quixote type cards in the deck too. Does pick up another Monet. Plays that Monet. But yeah, this is not the standard red green smoker list. I think the standard one runs more like the Mihawks and stuff like that. So it does 7 at my Sanji. Just want you guys to be aware that I know this isn't the standard red green smoker list. I don't need to get your panties in a bunch. Okay, plays the Sanji out. This is a video about how my deck works, okay? Koala. 9 at my face, we'll take that. And then 4 down up for a bunch of defense. I top deck another dragon. Which I was probably going to find with the Searcher Koala anyway, so same game plan. Just 1 Dawn more extra. We'll kill the Baby 5 Searcher with Zeus. Then we'll do 5 out leader. Yeah, if I criticize myself before you guys do, you guys can't say no. Okay, does counter 1. Am I safe to attack with Robin? We'll event search into 2k. We'll throw 8. If this goes through, I just all in the Robin for 15. But most likely not gonna go through. Right, he wouldn't leave 4 down up for nothing. That makes me think he did have the counter events from the very first turn, he just didn't use it for some reason. So yeah, 10 layer igloo. He'd need 10 layer igloo plus 1k counter. If he wanted to give the minus 2k to another character. Or else he'd have to use it all on the dragon. So he does Spider's Web and then tap the Hody. So I think I just play dragon and blocker up. Let's get rid of these 3. I don't have another blocker. Okay, I guess I Kuma up. We'll discard air 1k. And hopefully we get a Waxing Fist from our life maybe? We'll just pass. Waxing Fist from life, save me. But yeah, 2 life and a blocker. We're not out of the woods just yet. He does play a Baby 5 Searcher. Okay, that's 2 down I don't have to worry about. Oh no, it's not, because the Monet can give the 2 down to something else. So it's still all 10 down. And he has a Rosinante blocker. Which, if I live this turn, I'll keep my Zeus to pop and go for game. Or he uses leader ability to get the 2 dawn. Right, I forgot that's a thing too. So it does play out the Rosie just because Monet can get 2 of that dawn. Yeah, so it's a 1 drop. And then Hody 10k. Here I can afford to take that 11 at dragon. Okay, he didn't feel confident going for game. He can't go for game because I had a blocker and I have 2 life. So just kill my dragon here. 5 at my Zeus. That is fine with me. Sanji swings big number. I can block with the Robin. And okay, I can block counter the 8. Huh, 4 down up again. He's hoping to get a counter event from life. So we'll Zeus the Rosinante. Because we said we would. And then 9. If he's running Spider's Web, 9 should not be enough. He takes it. We can go all in with the Kuma here. If that's not enough, then Robin will bring it home, but it was enough. Oh, he does run 10 layer igloo. Okay, we have Koala versus Kuzan, who also plays a lot of big drops, so maybe we can get him to take a lot of life with our leader ability. We are going first though, which is our off curve. So we Koala into a Robin next turn. We probably just gonna do 5-5 with the Koala Searcher. Does play a Tashigi to find some of their own. A Hina, which doesn't affect us too much. It's more for like the blue purple Luffy matchup. So 5 from Searcher, 5 from our leader. Even next turn we don't really have anything good to play. We could play Captain's Dissemble and try to find a hack at the very least. That's something we do for 5. We'll do 5 at his face. If he attacks me and I get a hack, then I can just find a cost dragon or something instead. So we're most likely going to take a 5k to our face. Does kill Searcher for Searcher. Plays Sengoku, so he's going to throw 6 at me. Okay, picks up a Tsudu and a Garp. 5 at me. Okay, we'll take... What's 1 Dawn for? Another Tashigi? Nope. Doesn't peck if he needs it. So we're going to play Event Search to find Dragon. Nope. Take Akuma. 5 at leader. We'll play out Hack. No, I did see him pick up the Sudo, so this was a little bit of a mistake on my part. Because Sudo can bounce back my hack pretty much for free. Or not for free, but like... he doesn't have to discard 2 because he draws it back with his leader ability. Yeah, here's the Sudo. I only have 1 character on board, so I have to bounce it back to my hand. So I kind of wasted 4 Dawn here. So I could have just swung 9 at face and got him to take a life. 5 at me, I will counter. But that's okay. 5 card in hand means it's the perfect time to Robin. So we're gonna Robin at the perfect time. Discard Sanji here because he's not gonna play anything that's like 5 or less other than that Sudo. So he's gonna discard 2 cards. Since Robin is not a Navy type character, he doesn't get to draw 2 cards. Because his effect only works if the mill is from a Navy card. Then we'll just swing 6 with our leader. At 3 cards in hand, he's probably gonna take... what's he discarding though? If he discards 2 2Ks, we know his hand is like entirely 2Ks. Discards a pheasant pack. Okay, 6 at leader. He still countered it. Oh my god. So defensive. Okay, Garp into an Automaki, and then we'll use our leader ability. He has to take a life to hand. And his leader ability lets him draw a card. So we're probably not going to get too much value out of the second Robin. He's not going to draw too many cards from this point. 5 at our face, we'll just block for free. So here's where we play the Kuma instead. Or Dragon. Dragon would have been nice. Really nice, actually. But I guess we'll make do with the Kuma. And just so that we have 2 8 costs on board, so I can draw with my leader ability. I think I would just swing 5. If he blocks with Automaki, I can attack him instead. He doesn't, he counters. Okay, so I don't want my Robin to die, so I would just pass. Right, I think the number I would have been comfortable attacking with her would be 9k, which is a block and a 2k. And then they can attack into my Robin pretty easily after. But I do have a lot of counter in hand. Maybe I should have just swung 9. Okay, 8 at my face. We'll take 1 just because I want Dragon, but I don't get it. So I will counter the other hits. Or as many hits as I can. So 7 with Sudo will block counter 1. Hopefully he attacks into my Robin instead of my face. Now that she's a target. Yep, 9 at Robin. We can counter 3. I want to save my Waxing Fist for when I really need it. If he throws like 11 right now with the Automaki. Ooh, 6 with the Sengoku. We'll take. And we can just Waxing Fist to Automaki if he attacks with it. He doesn't. He needs it for defense, I guess. We did get a Dragon finally. Would be... oh, if I had countered with the Kuma earlier, I could heal right now. But I guess we could just bring out the Sanji and pop the Sudo. Because, yeah, Sudo attacked me for 7. That is kind of annoying. I think I make a mistake here where I forgot that the Kuma is no longer an 8 cost. It's actually a 6 cost on board. So throw 8 at the Garp. I guess I just try to kill Garp here. Counter 1. Dawn and Robin, 8 at the Garp. Garp dies, and here's where I should have played Dragon first. But I attack with my leader, so I don't get to draw a card. No, oh crap, I should have played Dragon. So I could go for Kuma instead to leave Dawn up for the Waxing Fist, but I just go for Dragon here. Play out the Sanji and then pop the Sudo. That's 1 less attacking body at me as well. So he really just has Automaki and leader. Let's play a 4-cost Porcelana blocker. And then he has his leader he can threaten me with. So here's 10k at Robin. I do think that is worth countering. So we will counter 4. And he still doesn't use the Automaki. He hasn't blocked with it either. But I've been throwing like weird attacks for him to block, so playing around that a little bit. Okay, so he does counter. We'll do 7 with our Kuma. He takes. Throw 7 with the Sanji. I want to get him to block with the Automaki so I can attack into him. Blocks with the Borsa instead. Okay, so then I would just throw 8 so he can't just block for free. Takes that. Here's another 8. Now he blocks and counters where it makes sense. Because it's safe. And then we'll play a Kuma. 2 Waxing Fists should be enough to keep this board alive to go for lethal swings next turn. He does Gravity Blade. So maybe we don't have it. It would have been nice if he had kept all 5. Okay, so Tashigi probably finding a Pheasant Peck for him. Gets a 2k Zephyr, so I think we might have enough here. 6. Our face we'll just take for fun. We get a waxing fist trigger. Might as well. Nope. Okay, so I just attack with what I got on board. If all things fail, I just play dragon. So 8. Burn a pheasant peck. Yep, he had it. Then 7, 9, 11 should be enough here, but we'll just throw 8 for fun so you can't even block with the Aramaki, and then 9 for game. And yeah, that's all the games I have for you with Koala. Bye.
Card D Kaizoku.